godmother, bringing you all the magic Disney and has to offer plus size people. And today we're having a very special live chat. I'm calling it UK Thursday because normally we do our Thursday live chats at 8 p.m. Eastern Time, but today we're doing it at 7 p.m. BST, British Summer Time. That's so that we can get a bunch of our friends from the UK to join us on the chats. We have a Facebook group called Pammie Plus Parks. It's also named Pammie Plus Parks. And on that Facebook group and here in YouTube, I've gotten a lot of feedback from our British members and our British viewers asking to please, our UK, I should say, specify, UK viewers and UK group members asking if we could do a live chat at a different time so that they could get involved in the live chat. And I happen to be home today from work trying to do some stuff on the house. I have some housework, some work that's getting done on the house. And I knew I would have a break from 2 to 3. And I thought, well, you know, what the heck? Let's ask and see if people would be interested in doing that today. And you guys were. And so here I am. Somebody asked me if this will be something we'll do regularly. Maybe, yes. Maybe we will. It depends. If we have a lot of people join us today and we get a good reception on this and a lot of people like it and enjoy it, I am seriously considering doing a UK Sunday. The last Sunday of every month, I would do a 2 p.m. Eastern Time or what would be a 7 p.m. British Time live chat so that our folks in the UK can join us. I think that would be really super great. As you guys know, if you're familiar with the live chats, usually what I do is I kind of tell you what my schedule is going to be in the parks so that you'll know so to look for me if you're in the parks on those days. And then I also share with you usually a couple tips or tricks that I have for the park. And then we have kind of like a free-for-all chat. So before we get started with that, I see we have a bunch of people who joined the group, and I just want to take a quick second to say hi to them. So I'm just going to scroll through really quick. Karen says, this pasty Scott thinks it's hilarious that today's topic is sunscreen. Well, that's exactly why it's sunscreen. I got some things to share with my UK friends. Lori says, hi, Pammie, watching while working, so might have to mute you along the way. That's fine. You know, if you ever want to put your earbuds in, you can listen because I'm not really doing anything physically that you need to see, but you can always listen in on what's going on. Candy says, hi. Sally says, hi. Baby Beth says, hi. And my Chinook says, my hair is cute. Yeah, I did my Mickey buns today. I thought you guys might think that was fun. I needed to get my hair off my face and up because I am also working, doing some extra housework in the house. I cleaned the oven and I'm cleaning out the fridge and, you know, just kind of making sure the house is spick and span because in the next day or two, actually later tonight or tomorrow morning, my landlord's coming over to do a white glove inspection of the house and I want it to be perfect. Serena says, I'm on vacation this week, so I can tune in at this time. That's awesome. And I'm hoping that maybe if I do a UK Sunday chat, and I do a chat on Sunday, at what would be Sunday afternoon or late Sunday morning here in the US, that the UK folks will join in on that. Sunday would definitely work for me too. Rebecca, you're headed out to work, but you wanted to say hi. Thank you, Rebecca. I'm so glad that you did. Serena says, hey, Pam. Oh, but I already read yours, Serena. Sorry. All right. Well, let's just jump into it. Let me start off by talking about my schedule coming up. Now, these are just a couple of dates that I have that are locked down. Goodness gracious. Let's see if I can pull that up for you. Oh, my. I gotta actually pulling up my computer screen here so I can monitor the chat better. Okay, I think I'm ready. All right, so my park schedule coming up September 7th is my next scheduled visit. And September 7th, I will be at Hollywood Studios from 7 a.m. to 8 a.m. for the VI pass holder event. It's a Toy Story Land play date that's specifically for pass holders. And the event actually takes place from there's two events from 7 a.m. to 8 a.m. and then another slot from 8 a.m. to 9 a.m. The park opens at 9. My slot is at 7 a.m. So I'm in there from 7 to 8, and then I don't know what they do with me after that. Maybe they kick me out of the park and then I can come back in again. I don't know, but I will be at Hollywood Studios that day. I'm going to be getting some footage for Toy Story Mania, which is one of the rides, I think it's the last ride at the park that I haven't got a video for. So I'm going to be doing a video for that for you guys. And I'll also get some additional footage so I can do like an overview video for plus size and accessibility for the entire Toy Story Land area at Hollywood Studios. And after that, I haven't decided. I have like 3 theater shows that I need to do at that park to finish the park off completely. Or I might park hop to Epcot and do a couple of rides over there that I still need to do, like Test Track and Mission Space and Journey into Imagination. So I'm not really sure what I'm going to do specifically, but if you happen to be in Hollywood Studios or at Epcot on September 7th in anywhere from park open till about 2-3 o'clock in the afternoon, keep your eyes peeled, you may see me. My next scheduled date that I'm definitely going to be in the parks is October 16th for the Mickey's Not So Scary Halloween Party. I believe they begin allowing people into the park at 4 p.m., so we may get there and the event actually starts at 7, so we'll probably arrive at the park between 4 and 7. So if you're in the park, I think they actually make park guests who are there for the regular day leave at 6. So if you're there until they make you leave, if you're not there for the party, you might actually see me and Mark in the park. And of course, if you're there on that date, if you're there for October 16th for the Mickey's Not So Scary Halloween Party, you're going to see us if you keep your eyes peeled. And I think I might do a video for you guys on the costume I'm doing. I have 2 costume ideas. I'm not going to share what those are right now. I'm going to kind of nail down what the details of the costumes will be. And as we get closer, I'll share, and I'll maybe even do a vlog showing how I put the costume together. All right, before we get into the sunscreen tips, let me catch up with all of the things you guys are posting here for comments. Actually, I pulled it up on my computer, so maybe it'll let me view it here. Let's take a look. All right. Shiloh Ashby says, super cute hair. Thank you, Shiloh. Serena, okay, let's see. Christy is watching while working, and she says my hair is fabulous. Thank you, Christy. If you guys knew how fast I did my hair, it's kind of ridiculous. I threw this together. Do you know what I used is here in the US we have something called dollar stores, and I think you in the UK you have pound stores. I'm not sure, but they're just like those little spongy bun forms that look like a donut, and that's what I used. I put ponytails in and I slipped that on top, and then I just sort of scooched my hair around and put another elastic on it and put some pens in for all the hairs that were sticking out. It literally took like 2 seconds to do it. So I think I'm actually going to wear my hair like this in the park in the future because it's super cute. It was super fast. Stacy says, I learned about sunscreen the hard way when I got 3rd-degree burns last year at MK. Yeah, it's absolutely possible to get 3rd-degree burns. I have received 2nd-degree burns on myself. I know that it is extremely painful, and it can take several days before you're able to go back to work or wear clothing or sleep. It can be really awful, and I actually had to go to a hospital for treatment. So I imagine that must have been terribly painful. Catherine said, it says Catherine from Ireland, but she says hello from Austria. So you're Catherine from Ireland, but you're in Austria. I gotta hear that story. Do you live in Austria, but you're originally from Ireland? I want to know. Shiloh says, I'm excited because I'm going on the 14th, my favorite ride. Which park are you going to on the 14th? What ride is your favorite ride, Shiloh? Pudding Cat says, hello, I just got back from a 3.5-hour journey in time. A 3.5-hour journey in time? What is that about, Pudding Cat? Please tell us. Lionel's going to be on the Disney cruise on some of those dates that I'm going to be in the park. Sorry to hear that we will miss you, but gosh, I'm super jealous you're going on a Disney cruise. How amazing is that? Let's see. Lionel says, aloha. Shiloh says, now you need to do a hair tutorial. I mean, can I do a hair tutorial for something that's lazy and easy? I don't know. Oh, Shiloh says Hollywood Studios Toy Story Mania is her favorite ride. I love that ride. That is, I mean, it's hard to pick now because all of the Toy Story Land rides are fantastic. And I don't know for sure which one of those rides is my favorite. I'm going to ride all 3 of them on that day, and we'll see how that goes. We'll see how I feel about them at that time. It looks like, okay. making sure I'm caught up on all the Pudding Cat says, I have been for a short break to Monkey World in Dorset, but today was coming home day. Long journey with too much traffic, but very glad I didn't miss you. I am very glad you didn't miss us too. That's awesome. Oh, Annie, you're going to go to the Mickey's Not So Scary Halloween party as Kevin from Up. That's going to be amazing. I want to see that. A lot of feathers, I'm sure, will be involved in that. Fantastic. Baby Beth says, I've never been to Disney. First time in May 2019. That's going to be an amazing time to go. I think there's going to be some more rides and things available for you at that time. For some reason, my computer is not updating as fast as the phone is, but we'll see. Sally Ray says, hoping to get back to French Quarter next August. I have been enjoying your vlogs. I'm glad that you guys have been enjoying them. All right, let's hop into some information because I do like to have something valuable to say to you guys that's going to help you in your vacation. And I think it's of particular interest to my friends from the UK. And you guys probably don't know this, but I don't know if I've mentioned it before in a live chat, but a couple of years ago, I did a DNA test for myself and found out I was over 70% UK-ish. Would they say that? Or would you say British? Or like, because I'm actually Northern Irish, Scottish, and English. So like 70% of my ancestry is from the UK. And then the rest of it is from Saudi Arabia, Africa, and India. So that's quite the mix there. But I do have pretty fair skin. I burn very easily. I get a lot of freckles and stuff like that. You can see I have sun damage on my chest here. And I'm wearing makeup today, so you might not be able to see it, but if you see little like areas here and here, that is broken capillaries and sun damage. When you see me in the parks, I don't have makeup on, and you actually, this is really blush, but there's like a couple of red spots here, and there's one on the end of my nose. I have freckles on my lips. I have freckles on my eyelids. You might not be able to tell from here, but I actually have freckles on the palms of my hands. That's how easily I freckle. So I have learned a lot about getting skin damage. You might not know that I am 48. I'm practically 50 years old, and I don't really have any wrinkles to speak of. I have a little bit of something here, and I have a little line here, and a little line here, and that's it. I don't have any lines in my forehead, and I'm pretty wrinkle-free. And I think it's because once I hit 20, I started to really use sunscreen religiously, and the damage you see on my body, on my skin, all of this terrible dark red, the discoloration, I don't know if you can see it on this arm, but there's a lot of discoloration here. All of that is from when I was a child, and especially in my teen years. So I'm trying to like promote the use of sunscreen as much as possible, especially when you're in Florida. I want you guys to take care of your skin, and I know that if I am 70% British, and I've got a lot of friends who are in the UK who are watching who may also be fair-skinned, I definitely want you guys to tune into this and really kind of take it to heart, because it's really going to help you. So my number one tip is no aerosols or spray pump anything. No, 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 no. Do not use any sunscreens that come out of an aerosol can or a spray pump. And the reason for that is because I don't find them to be very effective. I have found that, oh, I'll get the aerosol and I'll spray it on my back and it'll be great, but unfortunately it drips. It gets like a big splotch of it will be in one area, and then you never quite get it rubbed in. There's something about the formulation of the pump spray or the aerosol spray that it never glides on as smoothly as it should. It never absorbs into the skin the way it should, and you don't get the coverage that you need. Plus, it tends to be very sticky, especially in the summer when you're perspiring, and not all of them are sweat or waterproof. So they really don't work great. The other part of it is that you get a lot of overspray from them that you might not realize. There's tons of tiny particles that float through the air. If there is anyone 10, 15 feet around you, anyone near you who has any allergies, skin problems, respiratory issues, asthma, allergies, COPD, little children, elderly folks, they're all breathing that in. And it's really not good for them. It's not good for the environment. It's not good for the people around you. Please don't use them. I think they are kind of horrible. That is just my opinion. You, but you know what? I will say that that sunscreen is better than no sunscreen. So if that's what you are going to use it. Oh, I forgot to bring my tube with you, in here with me to show you. What I use for a product is a sun cream. I find the creams go on a lot easier. You get an even application. You get really good coverage from it. And I, in particular, use Copper Tone Kids. You can use any kids brand. It can be a drugstore brand, a no-name brand. It can be any brand at all. But the kids formulations work really well for me. I have very sensitive skin. I have a tendency to get little bumpy red rashes from creams. I also will, on my face, if I put them on my face, I get large bumps. I get whiteheads. I get blackheads. It really does a number on my face. But the kids formulation of sun cream works beautifully. It goes on perfectly. I also find that they tend to be either low fragrance or no fragrance, so there's not a lot of odor to it, so it works well on your face from that perspective as well. And I find that they are usually waterproof and sweatproof, and that is fantastic. Those are very handy things to have, especially in Florida when you're sweating and you're going on water rides or you're going to the beach. So that's my recommendation, is to use a sun cream that is formulated for kids. They're generally hypoallergenic, non-comedogenic, low or no fragrance, and they're sweat-proof and waterproof. Tip number 3 for sunscreen is do not bring an entire giant bottle of sunscreen into the park with you in your bag. You don't need a big bottle for your entire family that's going to last the entire trip. Only bring into the park with you what you need for that day. What I do is I have taken, I went to the travel section where they have the little travel sample sizes of things, and I found a hair conditioner, a small hair conditioner bottle. You know, it's like about that big, holds a couple ounces of liquid. And you can unscrew the top of the cap, it comes off. I emptied out all the conditioner, rinsed it out, filled it back up with sun cream, screwed it back on, and then it has one of those flip tops so that you can squeeze out just what you need. So that's my recommendation when you're looking for a container to use for your sun cream. Make sure it's one where you can unscrew the top and there's a wide enough opening that you can actually refill it, squeeze in use a large bottle to fill the smaller bottle, and then screw the cap back on, and then you have one of those special squeezy applicator flip tops that's easier to use. That smaller bottle, for me, like I said, it holds a couple of ounces of sun cream. That full bottle will last me about 6 trips in the parks. So you can fill that up and use that for a family of 6 for a day. And you keep the giant bottle of sun cream in your room or at your resort, your villa, and just refill that every day. It's going to be much handier. And if you have more than 6 people in your party, just get 2 or 3 of them, however many you need. What's great about those little bottles, they're easy for little kids to hold and use, and they're very lightweight, just very easy to carry. So use a smaller bottle for your sunscreen when you're going in the parks. Don't use a giant container. My 4th tip for sunscreen is to reapply. A lot of people wait till they get to the park and they start slathering on sunscreen. At that point, you're already sweaty. The application isn't going to go great. You're frantic. You're trying to get it on. What I learned from a dermatologist is this: sunscreen is most effective if you put it on before you leave your house, before sun exposure, and then continue to layer and reapply throughout the day. And so what I find that I do is before I get dressed, and this is the other thing the dermatologist told me, is before you get dressed, put your sunscreen on. And here's the reason why. Because you put your backpack on and your purse, and you have different things, your kids are grabbing on your clothes shift throughout the day. So you might put your sunscreen on really carefully, trying to avoid your shirt so it doesn't get on your shirt. Then all those areas here, you'll get burned. If your shirt shifts because your bag's on your shoulder, all this area will get burned. If your sleeves move, all the areas under, near, and around your sleeves will burn. So you want to make sure you put sunscreen all over the up and down of your arms, all over. Don't forget to do your chest area, ladies. Your neck and décolleté. The skin here is very, very thin. It's very susceptible to damage, and it's one great way to see how old a person is. I really believe that if I hadn't had this sun damage here, I would probably look like I was in my late 20s or early 30s. I would look 10 to 15 years younger than I actually do. But I have all this sun damage that's indicative of a woman who's almost 50, and that's because I didn't put sunscreen there when I was a teenager. So start doing it now. Put your sunscreen on before you get dressed, and like I said, reapply throughout the day. To make your application really effective, I find it's best to cool off. So sit somewhere for a few minutes, drink some cold water, get in some AC, kind of let the perspiration dry off of you a little bit, and then apply the sunscreen. Because if you're trying to put the sun cream on top of sweat, it just smears all over the place. But if your skin is dry, it glides on, it absorbs into the skin, and it gets that nice even coverage that you're looking for. I want to tell you a little bit about SPF so you know what that means. SPF means sun proof factor. And basically, if you have a sunscreen that's a SPF 30, it's giving you 30 additional minutes of protection beyond what it would normally take you to burn. So for me, I burn within 15 minutes. So if I use an SPF of 30, it means I have about 45 minutes before I start to burn. So I need to reapply that sunscreen every 45 minutes. That's why I tend to use like a sunscreen that's like in the 30 to 50 range. My dermatologist told me that anything over 50, like there are some sunscreens that are like 80 SPF, they aren't really any more effective than a 50. So usually you put a 50 on. For me, I know that's an hour's worth of protection, so I reapply every hour. You do not need to use a ton of sunscreen. Squeeze a teeny tiny little pearl-sized drop, put it into your face, another pearl-sized drop to your neck, another pearl-sized drop in your chest, and go on, so on, and so on. You don't have to slather massive amounts of it on. You can just put small amounts and let it really sink in and absorb into your skin. My fifth tip that I have for you is to protect your eyes. I know I talked about sunscreen and how not to burn, but a lot of people forget their eyes. Make sure that the sunglasses that you're using have UVA and UVB protection built into the lenses. Now, I know you guys see my videos of me in the parks, and I never have sunglasses on. I don't really ever wear sunglasses. I don't really like them. I find them sort of annoying, and I have to wear glasses all the time. I do have a couple pairs that have the transition lenses in them, but these, my favorite pair, I don't have anything in them, and that's because I like to be able to see the camera and have the camera see my eyes. It feels more like I'm talking directly to you. But I guarantee you, these lenses that are in these glasses have UVA, UVB, and blue blocker protection. So it has every single type of protection built into the lenses that is out there available to protect my eyes. So even though I don't have tinted lenses, I do have lenses that do protect my eyes. So it is possible when you're shopping for your eyeglasses to get glasses that will protect your eyes, even if you don't want tint. I do have a bonus tip for you guys. It's not really a tip, it's more of a caution that has to do with sunscreen and sun protection, and that's SPF makeup. I'm not making this up. This is information that's available that you can find on the internet, or if you speak to any dermatologist who's knowledgeable, they'll be able to tell you this is the truth. Cosmetics such as primers, foundations, powders, blushes, lipsticks, and eyeshadows that say they have SPF in them only have SPF protection for UVB rays. The UVB rays are generally the ones that are thought to actually give you a sunburn. So if you're wearing all this type of makeup on your face in thick, heavy layers, there's a good chance that you won't get a sunburn. But burns aren't the only way that you get your damage to your skin. In fact, it's the UVA rays that the makeup doesn't protect against that are the most damaging. UVA rays cause discoloration to the skin. It causes uneven skin tone, broken capillaries, like you see the redness in my chest here. It causes degeneration of the collagen in your skin, which causes the wrinkles and stuff like I have in my chest area. It causes a lot of damage that contributes to aging and is thought to contribute in the long run to skin cancer. The crazy thing about it is that the UVA damage is something you're not going to see right away. This damage happened when I was a teenager, but it didn't start to show up until I was in my 30s. So it was almost 20 years later before this damage started to surface. So you might think you have this great protection from your makeup, but you really don't. And a lot of times people are putting makeup on their face and nothing on this area here, and they're getting a ton of damage. And that's what I experienced. And I don't want to see that happen to you. I want you to really protect your skin. And it only takes one really bad burn to kind of get things rolling for damage. And even if you've had 1 or 2 bad burns, it's never too late to start protecting your skin. So understand that makeup is not going to give you full coverage. The best coverage you can get is from a sun cream, sunglasses, and a hat. It's your best bet. That's what's really going to do it for you. So your sunscreen, what I do in the parks for myself, whenever it's summertime, the only thing I wear for makeup is waterproof mascara, a tinted lip balm, and sunscreen. In the cooler months when I'm not all sweaty and stuff, I will put my sunscreen on, but then I'll put a little bit of powder on top of it so that I don't look too shiny on camera. But if I'm not vlogging, I don't wear any makeup. I just wear sunscreen. On my day-to-day stuff, at work and running errands and stuff, I put sunscreen on every morning, and then I put it on usually at work before I leave work, so when I'm going back out in the sun again and having exposure again, I'm covered from it. And sunscreen is something that people in Florida use all day, every day, and I would advise you, another bonus tip is when you're getting your sunscreen, try to get one that's unscented or has low fragrance to it or no fragrance, because we can smell you coming a mile away when you're a tourist because you have that coconut, exotic, pineapple, tropical fruit bowl smell about you. And Floridians have to wear sunscreen every day. So we know when we smell someone's sunscreen, that's not someone who's from Florida, because you smell like you are a tourist because you're wearing all that fruity, tropical smelling sunscreen, beachy smelling sunscreen. When we have a tendency to buy stuff that's like very generic smelling or no odor at all because we don't want to smell that all day. But yeah, if you don't want to give yourself away as a tourist, then don't buy tropical scented sunscreen. That basically does it. That covers it for the tips that I have for your skin and making sure that you don't burn. If you do burn, here's what I suggest that you do. Again, something I learned from a dermatologist. If you've got a bad burn, try to get to an urgent care center, try to get to a doctor or nurse, see a medical professional to try to get the best quality advice. But if you have a lighter burn that's not too terribly troubling, you want to put cold compresses on the burn as quickly as possible and try to get out of the sun and get yourself cooled down and keep your body cool. Something that people may not realize is once your skin is burned and hot, it will continue to sort of cook. If you stay hot, the hotter you stay, the more it kind of cooks. So you need to get your skin cooled off. So that's why you want cold compresses. And you want cool, damp cloths on your skin, loosely laid on there, just to kind of get that temperature down. If you're allowed to do so, if your doctor recommends it, you know, a couple of aspirin are a good thing to take to kind of help reduce fever and swelling. It will reduce some of the damage that's going to happen to your skin. So you want to make it so you don't want to take a hot, boiling hot shower. You don't want to get into a hot sauna. You don't want to get into a hot tub. You want to make sure that the water that you put on your body is room temperature or as cool as you can possibly stand it, to kind of keep the temperature down in your skin to prevent it from continuing to burn after you've gotten out of the sun. All right, so that's that. For that, let's go ahead and take a look at some of the comments we have here. I want to make sure I chat with everybody. Let's see. Christina Chasnoff says, "Hey girl, hey, from Philly suburbs. Oh wow, watching from the Wawa parking lot. Love this mid-afternoon treat. Hey, I love Wawa. I love Wawa. I love me their subs. I love me their soups. I love the food at Wawa. Who would say that they would love gas station food? But if you guys ever have a chance to visit a Wawa in Florida, they make fantastic sub sandwiches. And they have great soup as well." Baby Beth says she needs a factor of 50, so an SPF 50. Yeah, that's a good one to use. I use SPF 50 also. Sally Ray says, "My son is a redhead, so we have to be careful in the sun." Really, you don't have to be a redhead to be careful. Everyone should be very careful. You know, just get into the good habit of putting on that sunscreen and keep your skin as nice as possible. And I don't know that men care so much about the weathering of their skin and the aging of their skin as much as women do, but start when you're young, get your kids into that good habit of keeping their skin protected, and as they get older, their skin will look fantastic. I mean, like I said, you can totally see, and I put makeup on this and you can still see how red it is. It's not that I have high blood pressure. It's not that I'm embarrassed or nervous. It always looks like this, and it's sun damage. And the only way to get rid of it is if I like spray makeup on it or something, really put heavy, heavy cosmetics on it to cover it. And then if you're in person, it would look really cakey and gross, but it's damage. It's permanent damage. I think I would look a lot younger if I didn't have it, but I did not know back then about sunscreen and the importance of it. Let's see. Okay, so there's a few people on here that are from Philly. That's pretty cool. That's awesome. Maybe this should be like a Philly Thursday too. Oh, 4 people. 4 people from Philly. Hey, well, my Philly girls are here. Hey, ladies. All right, let's see. Carla says, I love you, Pammie. I love you too, Carla. Thanks. Donna says, you got to get the Halloween Disney t-shirt. They are so cute. Sizes small through 5X. That's awesome. I don't know. I'm going to see. I mean, it depends on what our budget looks like, whether or not I can actually afford to buy a Halloween shirt. I'm just so thrilled that someone gifted those tickets to Mark and I. One of the viewers of the Pammie Plus Parks YouTube channel bought the tickets for us. And really, anytime anybody makes a donation or contributes during the live chat, anytime anybody gives, what is it called, a super chat, anything like that, that money will go directly into a bank account for Pammie Plus Parks. I haven't actually been paid by YouTube yet. I reached the point where I was able to start earning money in June, and it wasn't until like a week or so, 2 weeks ago, when I actually earned $100 total from all the contributions people have given and from the ads that are run on the channel. So once you hit that $100 mark, they'll send you your first check. And in order to get a monthly check, you have to earn $100 a month. So for the month of August so far, the earnings on the channel have been $70. So we're only 9 days from the end of the month, so it looks like I probably won't get paid for the month of August. I probably won't see that money until sometime in September. But you know, that's the way it goes. And we're hoping that the ads do well and that people can continue to contribute through Super Chat. And shortly I will put up a Patreon account and I will do a PayPal account once I have my bank account secured for the channel, and then people can contribute that way. Those contributions go directly back into the channel, into purchasing an annual pass for me for Disney. And I want to do an upgraded pass next year so I can also cover the water parks for you guys as well. And then after that, if there are any additional earnings, I will use those to take care of my lunches and my breakfasts on the way there, and to take care of the gas that goes into the car to travel back and forth. And if there's anything after that, that will go towards Universal Studio passes, because I do want to cover that for you guys. The way the channel's going right now with the ads and stuff, there's such low earnings on it that I don't know that I will get to that point to be able to cover the Universal parks until sometime next year, maybe 2020. I don't know, but you know, I'm just going to keep chipping away at it. If it's meant to be, it's meant to be. If the channel's meant to do well and it's reaching the people it's supposed to reach, and I'm giving you good information that you can use, then it'll take care of itself, the channel will maintain itself, and I'll be able to cover more things for you guys. And if it's not meant to be, then it's not meant to be. I'll do the best that I can do for as long as I can do, and show you guys as much stuff as I can show you, and try to be a resource for you in some way for Disney as long as I can. And if it really gets bad enough and I am not able to do something next year for Universal, then what I'm going to do is just, I don't know, I'll consider not getting Disney annual passes the following year and just concentrate on Universal. Maybe I'll kind of switch them back and forth. We'll make it work. Somehow we'll make it work. I want to do as much for you guys as I possibly can. You know, I want to, we'll get there. I feel like we will. Somebody just gave a $5. Who did that? Jenna. Thank you, Jenna. Thank you for contributing that $5. That is amazing. That is going to really help. Now I only need $25 to get to 100 this month. That's amazing. 25 bucks away from $100 is amazing. Thank you for that $5, Jenna. I really, really, really appreciate it. You guys are amazing. You've really contributed to my life in a huge way and given me a sense of purpose and excitement and things to look forward to, and a new way of looking at Disney, and a fantastic way to like really share with everyone the wonderful magic of Disney. It makes me so happy. Oh my gosh, somebody just did $10. B. Weber, thank you so much. B. Weber says, thank you for everything you do to help change people's lives. You are a great Disney ambassador. Thank you so much, B. Weber. You know, an ambassador, I think that's a title they actually have at Disney, and I don't work for them. I think they're amazing. I do want to be your fairy godmother and do like a little magic in your lives in whatever way I can. If I were a multi-billionaire, I'd take you all with me to Disney World, but I can't. I can't do it that way, but I can take you through the videos, and I can, give you as much information as I can to make sure you guys are making the most of your trip and lift you up and sort of elevate you and give you some confidence and let you see that there's tons of stuff that you can do in the parks and that you can enjoy a lot of things and that you're going to make amazing, lifelong, lasting memories with your family and friends. Sometimes when I'm in the parks, when I'm taking a break, I'm not saying sometimes, all the time. I do this all the time. I stop and I sit. I have my little free cup of ice water and I just watch people. And I watch grandmas and grandpas with their grandkids. I watch moms and dads, dads and dads, moms and moms. I watch everybody with their kids. I watch couples together, boyfriends and girlfriends and husbands and wives and husbands and wives and every configuration of humanity that you can imagine. And, aunts and uncles and like all these family members and people that go together and the smiles and the laughter and the happiness. And, that just makes me so happy to see that. I love seeing it and knowing that there's a possibility that I can help contribute to that and help you guys make the most of it. That's amazing to me. I love it. Oh my gosh, you guys are going crazy. Annie Soto, thank you, Annie. Annie, $5 away from my $100 goal for the month, and then somebody else contributed. Christina Chasnoff, there's the $5 I needed. We hit the $100 mark. I cannot believe it. I'm going to try not to cry. I cry too much when I'm happy. That's when I cry the most. But thank you so much, Christina. You put me over the mark there. And it looks like my schnook, $4.99, my schnook. You are always giving all the time. You're so amazing. You guys, thank you so much for all that you've given. Because it's not just the money that does it. It's like you've given me, just chatting with you and spending time with you is amazing to me. And I love it. I love that the stories that you tell me and how you're making the most of your vacations and how you're getting confidence back and you're just striking out and trying new things in life. That is what I want to hear. Sue says, thank you for all you do for the Pooh Size community and thanks for remembering us in the UK. I lost you. Oh no. Thanks for all you do for the Pooh Size community and thanks for remembering us in the UK. Wish I'd found you before my trip in January. Sorry I messed up the super chat, but I guess you'll find it. It's okay, Sue. I'm sure I will if it's in here. Thank you so much for letting me know, and I'm sure you'll come back to Disney, and now you have all the skills that you need to like make the most of it. Karen says, great advice. Thank you. I love the comment about smelling like a tourist. I'm sorry, guys, but when you wear that beachy smelling stuff, you do smell like a tourist. I love you though, even though you smell like coconuts. Coconuts are yummy, but you don't always want to smell like coconuts every day if you live in Florida. Candy says, I love the coconut smell, reminds me of the shore. Yeah, and that's true. I mean, it is so nice to wear that when you're in a tropical location and you're in Florida. I'm sure it's really fantastic. But when you live here and you have to go to work, you can't be around a bunch of other people who smell like coconuts or like a tropical fruit dish or something like that. It's too much. So that's why we have a tendency not to wear it. Polarized sunglasses are amazing. They help with the glare. Shiloh says, bye-bye redness. By It Cosmetics will help cover your redness. Thank you. I'm going to try that. I've heard Bye Bye Cosmetics are really, really good. So that's something that I might actually try, especially for when I'm doing the vlogs at home, because I would like to cover that up because I know it makes me look like I'm nervous or agitated or angry, and I'm not. I'm just damaged. My skin damage. Eloise said, love the advice on sunscreen. Did know some of that stuff. However, I do love to smell like pina colada, so it will give me away. And that's fine. Hey, you're on vacation, I think that's great. It says, Christina says, Pammie, whenever I wear sunblock on my face, I manage to sweat it. Gets in my eyes and burns. do you have that issue in the parks? What do you suggest? Yeah, you know, that does actually happen to me too. Sometimes the sunscreen, even though it's sweat proof, will come down and burn and get in my face. So a lot of times you'll see, like on super hot days, you've noticed I've worn like my cowboy hat. So my cowboy hat that I have has a little band of like elastic in it to help it stay on your head, because I have kind of a small head, believe it or not, for someone my size. I just put like lining, like a little fabric inside of that. I tuck it inside that elastic in there and put it in there, and it kind of absorbs the sweat, because really my face isn't sweating so much as my head. My head will sweat in my forehead, and then it will get in my eyes. So I find that if you wear a hat, if it's a fabric hat, or if you have a straw hat that you can put a liner in, it's going to capture that sweat and prevent it from getting in your eyes and causing your eyes to burn. And you know, if you have to, you kind of can forego using sunscreen on your forehead if you're wearing a low hat that is covering that completely and really giving you that coverage you need from the sun. And then that way it doesn't sweat into your eyes, but you have to wear a hat in order to prevent that. So that's my big piece of advice. Let's see. All these contributions, you guys are amazing. Eloise says, please do set up Patreon, as it is easier to set up a regular payment. I think you're incredible and can't wait till you do Disneyland Paris. Oh my gosh. Oh, I can't even imagine Disneyland Paris. That would be so spectacular. So incredible. I would love to do that. I would love to take my husband to Paris. He has never been to Europe. I have. I love it. Europe is gorgeous. You guys have real castles. That's the thing I think is awesome about my UK friends, is that you guys have real castles. And then you come to Magic Kingdom, and yeah, you got Cinderella's castle, and you got the Beast castle, and you got Prince Eric's castle, but you guys have real castles, and you still get excited about Magic Kingdom, and I love that about you. I think you're amazing. But I would love to take my husband to some real castles in Germany, in Britain, in France. That would be amazing. Karen also agreed, do Patreon, that would be great. Shiloh says, it's amazing. I have rosacea and damaged skin, and it works amazingly. Love my bye-bye redness. I definitely have to try that. That sounds like a great product. Eloise says, it's still utterly magical, and I see real castles all the time. Karen got married in a real castle. Ooh, that's amazing. I got married in sort of a castle in a way, kind of. Actually, not at all. Mark and I got married at the Gisela Copsic Palm Arboretum. That's a mouthful. Basically what it is a palm tree garden. There's over, I think there's like 800 palm trees, 500, 800 palm trees in this arboretum, and there's like 50 some odd varieties of palm trees. And so it's basically like this manicured, beautiful garden full of different kinds of palm trees. We were married outdoors in this garden, and it looked like we were married in the jungle. It was amazing. And to me, it was kind of like a castle of palm trees. In my mind, that's how I think of it. And I loved it. We had a really pretty wedding. It was very simple, very small, and of course, knowing me, very thrifty and inexpensive. But it was great. But I imagine getting married in a real castle must have been completely amazing. I would love to see pictures from that. I hope you go to Pammie Plus Parks and post those pictures. That would be fantastic. I'd love to see it. Oh my gosh, somebody just... Oh, Karen! Are you kidding me? Karen, that's amazing. Karen contributed $48.99 British pounds, right? I don't know how to say that. I'm so dumb. I'm so sorry. It's not dollars, it's pound. $48.99 in British pounds. That is incredible. That is astounding. You are incredible. Thank you so much. That's an amazing, amazing, amazing contribution. I can't believe it. You guys, I'm so thrilled. It's kind of overwhelming that you guys, to me, it's not just getting money to be able to use to go do stuff in the parks, to show you guys stuff in the parks, to help kind of like defray the cost of going and giving you information and stuff like that. It's about the fact that you're giving me this money tells me that you have confidence in me and you believe in me and you trust me to do a good job. and you trust me to get you the information that you need to help make your vacations better. And that, knowing that you have confidence in me and that you trust me to do a good job, that I think is even more amazing. And I will do a good job and get you lots of great information about the parks. Maybe Beth says that's about $62. Oh, wow. So the $48.99 is $62 in American dollars. That's crazy. That's amazing. You guys are so fantastic. Thank you so much for all of the contributions. They're definitely going to go to good use. Drinking my sweet tea. Typical Southerner thing to do. You got to have your sweet tea. I need a little caffeine boost. So guys, we have been chatting for about 45 minutes and I promised you an hour. So we've got 15 more minutes of time. We've already talked about all the great stuff with, you guys know what my schedule is coming up. You guys know about my tips for sunscreen. Do you guys have any other like pending questions or things you want to know about or wondering about? Karen says the exchange rate is really bad at the moment. So 60. Well, it's bad for, I guess, Americans, because if we're purchasing British pounds, it costs us more money to get your money, but it's good for you because you get more American dollars for the British pound, right? So that's actually kind of pretty good. I think that must be why we've been seeing so many British guests in the parks lately. There's so many of you, and it's amazing. It's like, it's kind of, I know this sounds crazy, but it kind of adds to the atmosphere when you hear a UK accent, when you hear an Irish or Scottish or English, British, UK accent when you're walking around the parks and you're standing around a castle. It's like, oh yeah. It adds to the atmosphere and we love it. And also, the neat thing too is that folks from the UK are super nice. You guys are all so nice. I've had so many great interactions with UK guests. It's really fantastic. Candy asks for recommendations on comfy shoes. Yes. A while back, I shared with you a pair of sneakers that I had recently bought. I've worn them to the parks a few times, and I've worn them to work, and I've worn them walking a lot, and I've really broken them in, and they are fantastic. They're New Balance, and I can't remember the name of the style, but it's in a video where I show you the new shoes. You'll see it's like a pink sneaker. But any of the shoes, because I've tried a couple of others and I'm considering buying also any of the shoes from New Balance that are called Fresh Foam. Fresh Foam. They have fabric bodies to them with an open weave that kind of really breathes. It lets your foot breathe, but it gives you support for your foot as a sneaker. It has the soles of the shoe are at least 1.5 inches at the back-ish, at least 1 inch of cushioning, and it's a nice firm cushioning, so it's a supportive cushioning. I know some of the shoes, like some of the Skechers Walk Fit and stuff like that, they're so squishy that they break down easy for me, and they don't offer the support. They are not actually absorbing the shock because they're too squishy, if that makes sense. So shoes that are about 1 inch thick in the sole, 1 to 1.5 inches thick, and have a firm squishiness. Those that will absorb the shock better, but they'll hold up longer and they'll last longer, and that's what the New Balance shoes have. And inside they have a removable thin layer of memory foam cushioning, and they have nice high arches. I have a high arch, so they really support my high arch, and that squishy memory foam stuff is fantastic, and it never stinks, which is probably why they call it Fresh Foam. But I imagine you could take it out and you could wash it if you needed to and reinsert it, and you could like wipe out the inside of the sneaker, and because the whole sneaker is fabric, you can definitely wash it. So you could throw it in the washer and let it air dry, and they would come out like smelling really nice, and you have that nice fresh foam to put inside of it. I really like them. I like them a lot, and I'm really enjoying them. So I would highly recommend those shoes for anyone looking for a sneaker that's looking for the softness inside the shoe, but the support of a nice high arch, and the support of the nice support around your foot, and a nice firm but shock absorbing sole. It's got everything as far as I'm concerned with the sneaker. And I walk 7 to 10 miles a day every day, in my day-to-day life. And, you know, it's about what I walk when I'm in the parks. I walk like, yeah, probably like 7, 10, 12 miles in the parks when I'm on a park day. So I definitely am a walker. I'm on my feet a lot, and I definitely think I have a lot to offer for advice on shoes. You can definitely take me up on that. They work really, really great. So those shoes, my shoes, I bought them at JCPenney's, and they were like $60, and they always have sales and stuff like that. You can get them from, oh, I can't remember the name of the place, but there's like an outlet. I think it's Bob's New Balance outlet, or John's New Balance outlet, or something like that. But look up New Balance outlet on Google and pull it up, and there's an actual outlet store, and I think you can get them for as low as like $45 a pair from that outlet. So try them. And yeah, they are about 125 pounds. That's how much they cost in pounds. So they are a little expensive, but you know, they're going to last, and they're not going to be stinky, and they're going to let your feet breathe, and they're going to give you that support you need. So in my opinion, I don't mind spending a little extra on sneakers if I know they're going to last. Annie recommends the Croc sandals for walking in the parks. It helps your feet breathe, it keeps her cool, the structure is awesome on her feet. And yeah, and those work for a lot of people, but for me, I have Crocs for inside my house because I have tile floors, and I stand to cook, and I do a lot of standing when I'm cleaning and doing laundry and stuff like that, and they're great when you're standing still, in my opinion. But the Crocs for me offer me no support for me because I have a very high arch, and they're not great for me for walking around in. But they are great for a lot of people to walk in that have different feet than I do. So yeah, give them a shot. They are very comfortable to wear. I do wear them around the house a lot. And somebody asked about some tips that I have. Karen wanted to know about suggestions for dealing with the heat. Well, I can tell you something. This time of year, June, July, August, September, and October are the hottest months in Florida. June is not that bad. July is okay. It gets worse in the end of July, but August and September are our hottest months. And sometimes I think the first 2 weeks of September are the worst. Absolute worst. Hurricane season and storm season ends mid-September. I think September 10th is the actual date, but I think it's closer to the 15th because last year we had a hurricane on September 11th. So, yeah, mid-September our hurricane season's over, and the heavy rain season's over, and the humidity starts to back off. And October, it can still be warm, but not scorchingly hot, not sun scorchingly hot. You have cool breezes. It cools off in the evenings. It gets into the 70s. In October, it's usually in the mid 80s or so during the daytime, and then it drops into the 70s in the evenings, and there's breezes, and the humidity is a lot less. And then the latter half of October can actually be in the upper 70s to like 81, 82, 83, 84 at the hottest in the daytime, and then it drops into like the 70s and 60s in the evening. So we're getting there closer to the cooler weather. And being a Florida resident, being a 350-pound woman who wears size 30, 32 in US sizes, which is 32, 34 in UK sizes, and I'm also like perimenopausal, so I get hot flashes. You're just gonna sweat. You're gonna sweat. You're gonna get hot. But you just have to embrace the fact that it's just gonna be hot and sweaty. And what you can do about it is to make sure you take frequent breaks, get out of the sun, get into the shade, get into air conditioning, and drink ice cold water. I have heard that if you drink room temperature water, it cools you off better. I find that ice water works great for me. All the years I've lived here, I just drink some ice water and I just start to cool down immediately. It takes about 10-15 minutes and my temperature drops a lot. Make sure you just get your feet up, rest, relax. I try to do 20 minutes of rest for every 2 hours I'm walking or standing in line in the parks. And sometimes I do even more than that. A lot of times I'll get off a ride. And you know, if you stood in line for a ride for 30 minutes, and then you ride the ride for like 3 minutes, and then you get off, you're still exhausted because you've been standing that whole time. So a lot of times I'll just stop and sit for 5 or 10 minutes before I go do the next thing after I get off the ride. And I'll drink some water and get in the shade and just take it easy. That's the best thing you can do, is make sure you drink lots and lots of water and get some rest and get in the shade and get in the AC as much as you can. Wear light colored loose clothing. Wear stuff that isn't binding around your neck. And just embrace the fact that it's going to be hot. And that's okay. You don't have to be miserable. Make sure you get out of that heat and rest and relax. And you'll find that you'll have a much better time. As far as drinking water goes, I do have a tip about that. If you're walking around and you say, gosh, I don't even really feel like I'm sweating anymore, you're in trouble. You need to get water in you right away. You need to get like a Powerade or a Gatorade if you're allowed to drink that. You know, if it's in your dietary, if your doctor says you can have it, get a Powerade in yourself and get some water in yourself immediately. If you stop sweating and you're not urinating, if you don't need to urinate once every couple of hours, and if you're just not sweating, that means that you are completely dehydrated. You should be drinking so much water that even though you're sweating buckets, you still have to urinate every couple of hours. I'm sorry to be so blunt about it, but when you stop needing to urinate, you're in big, big trouble. Big trouble. You need to make sure you drink lots and lots of water. You want to be sweating. You don't want to be like, if you stop sweating and you don't need to urinate, you don't have any liquid in you anymore. You need to get as much in you as possible. What I like to do before I go into the parks, or if I know I'm going to spend a whole day out in the sun, is I pre-hydrate. The day before I go on my trip outdoors, I start drinking lots and lots of water, and I get my body fully hydrated so that when I go out in the sun, I'm already fully hydrated. Most of us are not fully hydrated to begin with, and then you're already slightly dehydrated, and then you go out into the sun and you're trying to catch up with water as you get through the day, and it just never quite works out, and you end up getting super dehydrated. It's happened to me a couple times. Pre-hydrate. The day before, make sure you start pounding water. It's going to help you a lot. It's going to help you stay hydrated. And also, you know, if you're well hydrated and you're riding on a plane and you're around a bunch of people, the more hydrated you are, you're exposed to new bacteria and germs. If you're really well hydrated, you stand a better chance of getting through an illness or preventing an illness like a cold or flu or whatever, because your body's well hydrated and you're getting all the bad stuff out of your body. So try pre-hydrating before you start your trip. Start making sure you're drinking 8 to 10 glasses of water a day, plus whatever else you drink, and get yourself on that path of hydration. It will really help you a lot. My Chinook says she really likes Brooks shoes, but they're expensive. They last a long time though. Yeah, I mean, sometimes it's better to like spend a little extra money on a shoe and have it last a long time. Baby Beth asked, would you recommend leggings in May, or is it too warm? I don't really wear leggings. I have like yoga pant type things that I wear around the house when I'm cleaning, but I've never worn leggings in public. Or that's not true. I wore them in college. They were leggings with like an oversized top, or a baby doll dress were like the thing to wear when I was in college, but I haven't worn them since. I don't feel confident really wearing them in public because I feel like everyone can see. I don't care about like the fat and my fatness. I don't care about that if people see that, but I still don't want people to see all my lady parts and my booty. That's for my husband. I don't want everyone to see that. Maybe I'm just old and I don't know, too conservative or whatever, but I feel weird about it. I do own a pair of leggings I have yet to try, but I don't know. I've heard that they're perfectly fine in the summer. I see people wearing them all summer long and they seem comfortable in them. I'm guessing as long as there's cotton content in those leggings, you're going to be fine. Karen says she goes in October and hoping it won't be too horrendously hot. It shouldn't be too horrendous. It won't be horrendously hot. You'll have times during the daytime, like from around noon to 3, where it will be warmer, where it will be in the 80s, but then it'll drop back into the 70s. So a good portion of the morning, it should be like in the 70s or 60s, and then warmer during the afternoon, and then it'll cool back down again, but it won't be like dripping trench hot. And there's something about the sun, I guess, because you're in October, we're not as close to the sun, so it doesn't feel so blindingly, scorchingly hot. And there's not as much humidity because the storm season is over, especially in the latter half of the month. So there's heat and there's warmth, but it's not like that soggy, like heavy heat that we have in the summer. Shiloh says you burn more calories when you drink ice water, hence why some say you sweat more when you drink ice water. But I drink ice water, it's more refreshing. Yeah, I mean, I've heard drink room temperature water, and I'm sorry, but I got to, like, if I want to cool off fast and I want to feel comfortable, ice water is the way to go for me. That's what I drink too, Shiloh. I agree. Yes, and Stacy says just getting out of direct sunlight makes a huge difference. Even sitting under the shade of a tree on a bench, especially like one of my favorite places to sit is at the Germany Pavilion. If you turn your back to the pavilion, you'll see that there's like a big planter with trees in it and stuff. And if you walk on the other side of that, there's a bench or 2 or 3 benches that face out over the Seven Seas Lagoon or the World Showcase Lagoon. I can't remember what that's called now. I've suddenly forgotten. But you sit there, there'll be a breeze that comes off the water, and you're underneath a big oak tree. And even if it's 856,000 degrees out, sitting in that spot is like awesome, especially if you have a couple of cups of ice water. Ooh, it's like heaven. Just getting out of that direct sunlight makes a huge difference, Stacy. You are right. Oh, Mark's on now. You see, Denman's Den TV is Mark. That's my husband. He is actually working right now. And he's trying to take a break and watch really quick and check in with us. But we've been on for an hour, guys. I think I've answered as many questions as you guys have. Oh, let's see, Pammie. NASCAR drivers say they start pre-hydrating a couple of days before each race. That's right, my schnook. That's why I say pre-hydrate before your trip, before you get on an airplane. Being on an airplane is very dehydrating, all that recirculated air. And if you're trying to hydrate yourself when you're already a little bit dehydrated and you're out in the sun, you're never going to catch up. Get yourself pre-hydrated. Just in my day-to-day life here in Florida, before I leave the house, I drink one of those 16 and a half ounce bottles of water before I even leave the house every day. And then anything else I drink, if I drink a juice or something on top of it, whatever. And then I drink 2 or 3 of those at work. Plus I'll have like a cold brew or a juice on top of it. And then when I come home, I drink a couple more of those. It's just a part of our lifestyle here in Florida. We just drink a lot of water. It helps us, helps us stay cool. Shiloh says for sunblock, excuse me guys, for sunblock, set up your alarm on your phone for every hour so you don't forget. Love the pre-hydrate tip. Will do. Sorry, guys. I need to drink more. Ooh. Yes, setting your alarm on your phone is a fantastic tip. Thank you, Shiloh, so that you don't forget to reapply that sunscreen. And make sure you do it throughout the day and don't miss it because it will help protect you from burns. And even from the rays of sun that are going to damage your skin and don't give you sunburn. Oh my goodness, you guys, sorry. Eloise says she's terrible for drinking on airplanes. And that she'll have to be diligent on a 9-hour flight. Yes. Remember that alcohol and caffeinated beverages are very dehydrating as well. So if you're going to drink an alcoholic beverage or a caffeinated beverage on a plane, a cup of coffee or a cup of tea, make sure you also drink an equal amount of water to counteract the dehydration you're going to get from that beverage. So please do keep that in mind. It's okay to enjoy alcoholic beverages, but make sure you balance it out with drinking some additional water. And I'm about to lose my voice. Apparently, I'm having like a coughing fit, so I am going to sign off because we have been on together for an hour now. Thank you everyone so much for joining me today. Thank you to everyone who contributed. Thank you to everyone who gave their opinions and their thoughts and who shared their viewpoints and their tips that they have. Thank you so much for being a part of the community for Pammie Plus Parks here on YouTube and the Facebook group as well. If you aren't already a member of that Facebook group, please do head over and join, fill out the application, go through the application process, and become a part of that community. You will learn even more information about the Disney parks and really form a bond with all the people that are part of the Pammie Plus Parks family. I also want to, again, thank you so much for all of the financial contributions that will help me do more for you guys. And thank you for your confidence in me and producing the best quality videos that I can to give you the best amount of information. And I hope hope that you guys have a magical day. Don't forget, if you are interested in seeing more UK days, if you want to see a UK Sunday on the last Sunday of every month at 2 p.m. 2 p.m. Eastern Time or 7 p.m. British Time, please make sure you note that in the comments and let me know so that we can know whether or not that's something that will be popular and useful to you guys in the future. And even if you aren't from the UK and you find those times to work really well for you, please let me know that as well. And we'll see about maybe doing this going forward, at least one Sunday out of every month. Thank you guys so much for joining me today. Thank you for taking time out of your day. I hope that you have a magical day, and I will see you real soon.